Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just under 5 months away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to be, well, a revelation movie. It's going to have a lot of twists and turns that will lead to a lot of saga-wide implications of the Skywalker saga, and like I've always expressed, that could either be a good or a bad thing depending on how it'll be utilized and how it's going to resonate with the Star Wars fans around the world. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of one of the sequences based in the third act of the film, where it's described that both Kylo Ren and Rey are fighting Palpatine, where one of the sequences is actually said to involve a moment where Palpatine uses Force lightning on Rey and tosses her to the side, causing her to become very weak and eventually passing out. It said that this is when Kylo Ren picks up Rey's lightsaber, that once also belonged to both Anakin and Luke, and begins to use both the crossguard and the single blade lightsaber against Palpatine, where Kylo has the two sabers against Sidious and his one blade. During this scene, it's described that Kylo Ren begins to hear the Force ghosts of both Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker, providing him the code of the ancient Jedi as a way to focus and fight Palpatine equally, if not to also gain the upper hand eventually. It said that the voices of both Anakin and Luke are done in a whispering fashion, while very audible for Kylo Ren at the same time, and planned to be as well for the audience. Lastly, it said that one of the scenes even involves a moment where Kylo has the upper hand through the words of both Anakin and Luke, where they deliver the code of the first Skywalker. So, let's go over a couple of parts about this, because we do know that the third act is going to be very action-packed, not just between the Resistance and the First Order, but also between, of course, both, characters like Kylo Ren, Rey, Palpatine, the Dark Acolyte. That whole entire side of Star Wars Episode 9 really is going to be used as a way to really put in a lot of action and a lot of material related to that in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Now, in this particular scenario, we have the Force ghosts of Anakin and Luke delivering the ancient Jedi Code. Now, this code is said to be different than we have ever seen before in the Star Wars franchise, and is completely different than the code that's already in the canon material. Now, on top of all of this, they also deliver the code of the first Skywalker to Kylo Ren, while he's using the Skywalker lightsaber in his right hand against Palpatine, where the crossguard is actually in his left hand. So, Kylo Ren is using two sabers against Palpatine, and that's a very nice callback to, of course, Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, where we had Anakin Skywalker using two sabers against Count Dooku on Geonosis. So, what I like about this also is that this is a very dark scene, while at the same exact time, very inspiring for the character of Kylo Ren. You can see how he's listening to the Force Ghost voices of both Anakin and Luke, either because there is a shred of light within Kylo Ren at this point in time, or it's very possible because he's holding the Skywalker saber, and that links to the Force Ghosts of both Anakin and Luke Skywalker. Now, we do know that because of the reforging of the saber by Rey, she does indeed have a strange connection to both Anakin and Luke. So it's very possible that the same exact thing is happening here for Kylo Ren, that he only experiences the, connection between both Anakin and Luke Skywalker while he holds the actual lightsaber itself. So with that being said, what's really intriguing about this is that their wisdom, right, their lesson to Kylo Ren is said to give Kylo Ren the upper hand against Palpatine at one point in time, where, while in the background, though yes, Rey is knocked unconscious from the Force lightning that hit her out of nowhere, at the same exact time, Kylo Ren is fighting to the death against Palpatine and trying to defend not just himself, but also, from what it seems, the character of Rey as well, and what Kylo Ren is fighting for. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that Ian McDiarmid himself is back, as of course Palpatine, and it's going to be very surreal to actually hear the voice of Palpatine himself talking to Kylo Ren on the big screen. I will admit, that it's going to be a very interesting moment to see all these characters on the big screen by J.J. Abrams and how it's all going to be organized into the film and how it's all really going to play out. In fact, Palpatine is really going to be a key character in this movie. He's not a character that's being put to the wayside or a character that's just going to be in it for a couple of scenes here and there. Palpatine is a main focus in this story. He's going to grow from the first to the third act of Episode 9 in the forms of holograms, holocrons, flashbacks, visions, and then eventually to the point where we get to see the Dark Acolyte's body being controlled by the spirit of Sidious himself, where he's actually there physically in front of both Kylo and Rey. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.